Bank of America Stadium. Not going to be football there tonight, but football, the different type of football. You're looking live at Bank of America Stadium, where Charlotte FC will play their first home match in the League's Cup tonight. They're taking on Cruz Azul, and the Crown needs a win to stay alive for the tournament.
Joining us this morning, Willie P., the voice of Charlotte FC, talking about the matchup tonight. Willie, always good to see you, my friend. How are you, man?
It's good to see you, gentlemen. Hope everything's well with you.
Things are very well. I hope that we are saying the same thing this time tomorrow, saying that we get a win. So let's talk a little bit, all right, about the match tonight. When you look at the importance, right, the importance of the win, it's always nice to have a W, right? But how important, Charlotte FC, how important is it to them? Does it mean the same to get a win, and does that affect the mentality of their play on the pitch?
Well, Jason, you got a couple of factors at play here with the League's Cup. The League's Cup, quite frankly, is the easiest route for Charlotte FC to get to the highest level of competition that they can get to in this continent, which is CONCACAF Champions League. That takes place, at least starts before the season starts, and then kind of goes throughout the early part of the regular campaign. But from where Charlotte FC is sitting, the biggest motivator is the fact that if they don't win this game or they don't get out of the group stage, they'll have 3.5 weeks off before a game. So I think that's something that definitely is a motivator. I think there's also the fact that they have not played at the Bank since the 3rd of July. They definitely want to put some of the fire back in there. They haven't won a game at Bank of America Stadium since the 15th of June. So I think from that perspective, there's a lot of added motivation when it comes to this, and also just the fact that it seems like MLS has gotten the better of Liga MX in the first early portion of this tournament. So I think trying to kind of carry that banner is something that you definitely want to at least try to continue.
Now, on the other side, Cruz Azul, there's some added motivation for them to try to get a win against Charlotte FC. The approach for them, they're taking this pretty serious tonight.
They are, and Charlie Rodriguez, their main talisman, talked yesterday and said, you know what, they remember last year Charlotte FC defeated Cruz Azul in Dallas 0-0 in regulation, but they won in penalties, did the Crown. So there's definitely some added motivation there going into this. They're a team that's actually played a lot better than the team that Charlotte FC saw last year. They fired their head coach actually right after Charlotte FC beat them. They've got a new head coach in there who actually was an assistant to Charlotte FC's first head coach, Miguel Angel Ramirez, when he was down in Ecuador, and he's come in and really renewed things. They finished second in the second part of the league last year in Liga MX and almost won the final. They're first place right now. They've yet to lose. They've got 3 wins and 1 draw. They're a much, much different side than what Charlotte FC saw a year ago at this time.
Haven't seen a lot of playing time for Karol Swiderski. Certainly a team leader we need to see some more playing time from. Are we going to see more of that tonight?
I think you should. I think right now they're trying to figure out where his fitness level is. You know, he played about an hour against Austin and then went into the game last weekend off the bench. I think part of the reason was they wanted to ensure that he was ready to go at the end of the match so that the potential for penalties, which if this game is tied after 90 minutes, they'd go to penalties. So I think that was the conventional wisdom of trying to get him in there near the end. I'm wondering maybe if he's a little bit more fit now, if we see him at the start. But I think they definitely want to get him on the pitch and get their best 11 on the pitch because they need to basically fortify an attack that last weekend didn't show much against Philadelphia.
All right, Willie, so talking Leagues Cup aside, let's talk about the regular season because when we come back from Leagues Cup play, we only have 9 matches left there. Charlotte FC sitting in a playoff spot right now. What's going to be key down the stretch for this team to make sure that we have a playoff run? 1, make playoffs, but then 2, make a playoff run.
Well, I know the sporting department's working on some additions as well to try and make sure that the squad gets really into high gear by the time they resume play in the league on the 24th of August. But I think it's getting back to kind of that way that they played before the League's Cup, you know, making sure that they're very tough to beat on defense and making the most of their scoring chances. This is a team that, you know, early part of the season, goals were kind of hard to come by. I think if you think about the Ohio double, they were able to really get some stuff on the board and really test some of the best teams in MLS. I think getting back and trying to bottle up some of that particular offensive prowess is something they need to get to because these next couple of contests are no joke. You got Red Bulls, you got Atlanta, a Montreal team you haven't seen yet this season. There are some tricky spots. 5 home games, 4 road games. It's going to be an exciting sprint to the finish.
Willie, we're out of time, but in your best Coach Dean Smith accent, what is your opening comment to the players in the locker room before they step out on the pitch tonight? Go.
Just play your game. Play your game. We got to play your game. Don't play their game.
Wow. Okay. That was better than what I expected. I had the bar set pretty low, Willie. Always a pleasure to hear from you, and I'm glad you don't do that on the radio. So we're hoping for a
Next
W,
time
man.
you got to ask Jess to do her American accent. That's what you need.
You know what? You're right. We'll make it even.
I like that.